is where we have the military people coming in.
Exactly. Physical fitness is number one requirement of every military person. And so for those who will be interested in joining the military in future, if you are not fit, please, you are out of the question. And these are physical training instructors. And so they will have to be extra fit, more than the average military person. There are some displays that you will see here and you think is very easy. If you want to try it, you end up breaking your limbs or your neck. And so I would advise children in their homes that never to try it. So it's just to show to the whole world the fitness level of the Ghana Armed Forces, and also to let you know that some tasks may not be that simple, but with constant training you can easily overcome them.
Particularly in Tamale, we saw, and that picture went viral after the 6th of March 2019 when we saw that military person jump through a ring of fire without scratching himself. That picture went viral after the 6th of March on that day.
Then I think you should stand by for more of such pictures.
Okay, so these are the physical trainers.
Yes, so that is their leader. He just come to ask permission for them to commence. And so that is the prone lying and thigh support. So those on the chairs have thigh support and those in front have prone lying. And then
wow,
we have shoot through and split to sit. That was there a while ago. And that was the backward roll and forward roll out of chair act. So that is backward roll forward out of the chair, and then forehead spring and backward roll to sit. It looks very simple, but it's not that simple.
Can imagine the hours of rehearsal that had to go into doing this, because as an individual you may be able to do it alone, but to do it together with others and in unison would demand a lot of practice and rehearsal. I just saw what happened there.
Yes.
And it's almost like marching while still engaging in some form of exercise.
Yes.
And they are doing it to precision and timing.
Yes. Back band lift and handspring in pairs. That's what we are watching now. Bend back lifts and handspring in pairs.
So these are the personnel,
the physical training instructors
who train
the military personnel.
The military personnel.
Yes, and they are military personnel themselves.
Commander, did you go through this?
Oh yes, every military personnel goes through.
You did this?
I may not know. I didn't necessarily do it because I am not a PTI. So the PT course is also a core.
And the crowd went ecstatic over this one.
Because it's pretty.
Yes,
very nice.
It was very nice. But if there was a mistake there, you can imagine the kind of pain it would have caused the receiver of that mistake.
Exactly.
And so, and this is where the warning comes in. Do not try this at home. You need to be an expert to be able to try some of these stunts that the military personnel here are displaying. The president obviously
the president's
impressed
excited
with what we've seen. He's the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. If this is what it takes to join the military, no wonder I'm a journalist. I could never have joined the military.
Oh, you can with determination. I believe everything in life is about determination. And most of us go without having any idea, but with determination, one can sail through. But it's difficult, I must admit. So that's one phase of the display. And now we are having the individual displays. Beautiful. And so that's a freestyle display by the physical instructors, and the aim is to test their ability and agility.
the response from the crowd is so. At this level, you as a physical trainer on this stage, you come and do whatever you feel like doing.
But they've rehearsed, so you know which one you are doing and which the other person is doing, so that we can have a variety of them.
Wow. Do not try this at home. You will feel dizzy. I'm already feeling dizzy on his behalf. I feel dizzy on his behalf, really. That was amazing. That was amazing. Again, shots from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, filled to capacity stadium. Ghanaians are enthusiastic about Ghana. The people of Kumasi are enthusiastic about Ghana, and they're excited that this honor has been done them. The national parade has been brought to their doorsteps, and currently the physical trainers of the Ghana Armed Forces on display, showing us what stuff they are made of. And if you have ideas of joining the military, perhaps these are some exercises you may be psyching yourself up for.
Exactly. You may have to take part in some of these, especially if you are a physical training instructor. If you join the physical training instructors, then you would have to necessarily take part. The next is horse work. And I'll leave the description to you.
Horse work. Okay, so when you said horse work, I was looking out for where the horses were. But I'm not seeing horses. I'm seeing men jump over
what looks like a horse.
What looks like a horse. Yes. And so this is what to ensure that if you meet any obstacle, you will be able to scale over.
Cross it easily. Yes. So that is face vault on and off. Then we have the through vault and astride vault.
Right.
It's all part of it.
Of course, Asantino 82, Otumfo 82, the second, also admiring the scenes here. He must be a very proud king at the moment. He's here admiring and observing events as they unfold. The scenes here are so beautiful. The cameras will not be able to bring every thing to you in your homes, but we'll try to give you as much as we can. This is still the armed forces, the Ghana Armed Forces, displaying some skills. These are physical trainers, and Commander Veronica Ahen, who is here in commentary position with me, has been warning us that we should not try this at home. This is for experts. If you are not one, do not try it. You may end up hurting yourself. Selikam, did you ever dream of engaging in any of these exercises?
Absolutely not. It appears that even this one was well rehearsed over and over again. It takes a lot of effort and skill to have to get to this point of perfection.
Wow.
This is just admirable, and you can just hear the crowd appreciate the display, the physical display.
Of course, the Ghana Armed Forces, noted as one of the best around the world on many UN peacekeeping missions. The reports have indicated that the Ghana Armed Forces have been very professional and meticulous at
and
whatever it is they do. Yes.
And that is the dive and roll through the loop. Dive and roll through the loop.
Oh. So and two persons come almost at the same time, and
the loop. Sorry.
Oh,
one creates
wow,
a loop,
okay.
and the other one dives through it.
And here again, with the least mistake, there could be a crash of heads.
Exactly.
So
it's done with training. And let me add that Lieutenant Gershon Agdase and his able safety supervisors, Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Aqua Bernard, Staff Sergeant Oklu Roland Moses, and Petty Officer Class 1 Seshi Sylvester, Flag Sergeant Amponsa Jeffrey, and Staff Sergeant Adato Courage worked tirelessly to bring this personnel to this level. Even though they are physical training instructors, they still needed to train.
This is GBC's coverage of the 63rd Independence Parade and the first national parade ever to be held in the Ashanti regional capital, Kumasi. The first was in the northern regional capital of Tamale, and here in Kumasi we're seeing beautiful scenes, beautiful sounds, beautiful people, beautiful cultures, diversity of cultures meeting at one spot, and that spot is here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So the loop and dive and loop?
Dive and roll through the loop. But this one is somersault through the loop. So he has created the loop by you somersault over him.
Oh, wow.
So that's a higher jump.
Yes,
that's a higher jump.
one.
And again, with the least of mistakes, we could have trouble in our hands. And so what it means again is that don't try this at home. It's for the experts. And this is just an indication of how physically fit the men of the Ghana Armed Forces are. And I'm beginning to get memories of Tamale coming back. I saw something similar, and then it began to blaze with fire, and we had men and personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces jump. Okay, so we go. There we go again. You can. And the crowd is responding to this again. The crowd went ecstatic over this one. Anytime someone jumps through it successfully, because if you fail to do so, you will not go back home the same.
You can't afford to touch any of the edges.
You cannot.
But this will also be very hot.
Yes, it is fire, so it's hot.
Oh dear.
So again, I'm always curious about some of these things. So, in practicality, what will this do for us as a people or as an army? What's this supposed to mean?
That if you have a mission to accomplish and you need to overcome this, then you have to find a way of overcoming it. You don't have to allow fire to be an obstacle. You don't have to allow rain to be an obstacle. In fact, nothing must be an obstacle.
We've seen should not be an obstacle. Because they're jumping at a high altitude, if you like. But again, you have to be so precise that you have to go through fire to be able to get to your task. Wow. And so there we had it. He tried to jump over it, but indeed, okay. So this is jumping over it.
Yes,
the first was jumping
through it.
Now it's jumping over it actually. Okay, and
that's he jumped paying compliments.
What does that mean?
He was saluting when he jumped through the ring. Oh, you didn't see it. You missed it.
That was very fast. Paying compliments. He was saluting.
He was saluting
whilst jumping at the same time.
Exactly.
And he jumps through.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yes.
And the president is rising to show his appreciation.
So the leader is going to ask permission again for them to march off. And their motto is strong mind, strong body.
Strong mind,
Strong mind, strong body. Of course, you need a strong mind to be able to withstand some of the very torturous experiences, and then you need a strong body to be able to withstand the very physically demanding tasks that the Ghana Armed Forces have to go through in order to protect our territorial integrity, but also to participate at the UN level and the AU level to ensure that Ghana remains an active member of the UN and also an active member of the AU and other international bodies such as the ECOWAS and so on. And so it's instructive that we are aware that our men and women in uniform are always physically and mentally stable and alert at all times to protect our interest. And that was the physical trainers of the Ghana Armed Forces. So now everything is in the hands of the security agencies at this point in time. We've seen the horsework. What next?
We have a little surprise, and I'll start speaking only when they start it.
Oh, so you have a surprise for who? For the audience, for the president?
For our viewers.
So it's a little surprise.
Yes.
And
this is a short scenario as to how, if there's a need to rescue somebody, like a very important personality has been kidnapped, and then a special force is inserted to go and then rescue the person. Before such people get onto the field, we'll have security intelligence giving us an idea as to the location, and then in real life scenario, the aircraft would have dropped the persons far away, and then they'll find their own means to the location. So we are assuming that they have found their location, and some personnel will rappel and others will do fast roping. There are two types of getting down from the aircraft to rescue that person who has been kidnapped. But for the sake of time, I'm sure they are going to give an abridged version, so you will not see all the nitty-gritty.
So now this chopper is assumed to have arrived at the spot where the person is being held hostage, so to speak.
This particular one will have to be happening a bit far from the location,
because it will draw attention.
It will draw attention.
So it will be far from the location.
Yes,
and then the personnel would have to find a way of
walking down here. Exactly.
Okay. So this is where we are now.
Yes. So this is rappelling. What you are seeing now, that form of dropping is called rappelling, and it's normally dropped off the location for the personnel to walk a distance or drive, whichever means is available, to the site of the operation. And because I'm privy to it, let me add that the first person coming out is a female.
Oh,
yes,
we have. Well, it's clear. We can see it's a female, and she's done it so effortlessly. She's landed very well. So they will from here then join, because we saw two men with a motorbike like.
It's more than two. It's because of the camera.
Okay. They
have actually secured the whole place, so they have them around virtually the whole stadium.
So this is rappelling
yes.
from the chopper to the location,
yes.
Not the direct location, but a location a bit far away, so that you do not draw the attention of the enemy,
yes, exactly.
Before you go in for the rescue. Otherwise, then the enemy would devise defensive mechanisms against you.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's assumed that here at this point, the enemy doesn't know that any action is being taken.
No. And even if it happens that they have to drop the enemy at the exact location, okay, should I be giving out so much information? I think I'll keep it to myself. So
we'll see the surprise.
What we have now.
Yeah, we'll have the surprise here. But from here, really, I'm just being curious. So then what next? They will now walk, because there's an advanced team, and we are not seeing communication between the advanced team and those rappelling from the chopper at the moment. How do you communicate with each other?
I believe. normally this is planned way back in our bases. That maybe at so and so time this group will go, so and so time you go, and the rappelling team would have to rappel onto the ground and secure the ground before those coming to do the actual rescue would come. So another team will come. But I'm sure for the sake of time we might not show everything. And the fact that we see them rappelling so easily doesn't make it easy at all. It can be very, very intimidating. Even the aircraft alone, the air blowing around it can create a lot of challenge. So this required training. And this person is coming out with a dog. This is a trained dog for such exercises or operations.
And the dog is aware of this. So the dog has trained, and that's not the first time the dog is going through such an exercise.
No, this is not the first time.
Okay. And the dog is trained to know all the other persons, all the other men and women in the battalion.
No, not necessarily. Yes. But the dog trainer gives it instructions and it obeys.
Right.
No, dogs are very sensitive pets. If only you have time and you train them, you can use them for so many things. And these are specially trained military dogs for operations.
We've seen quite a few since we arrived at the venue yesterday. Very strong looking dogs with huge muscles, with the ability to push down a man if you're not careful. We've seen a few of them here, and it's exciting to know that the Ghana Armed Forces is that well prepared in terms of yes.
So in reality, this team will go and help those on the ground to secure wherever. So this team will drop off and walk close to the location of the incident and secure the place and be ready to fire back or return fire if the enemy should try to fire on them. Sometimes, or maybe when the person is running off, the dog can be directed to go and then arrest it. Yeah. This is the fast roping. This one, they do it much faster than the rappelling. And this one normally is closer to the site. So before this team comes, the rappelling team should have been in position. You see, they're so quick, and that's the commanding officer of the unit. It's thicker. But like I said, for the sake of time, a lot of things have been left out. Yes. Because there will be the need to exchange fire and all that. It will not be done. So please, those of you who are expecting it, sorry.
There will not be exchange of gunfire here. Okay, so they have rappelled from the chopper, and then the second one,
the fast roping.
The fast roping.
Yes, they have also come down, and they are coming to actually rescue the person who has been kidnapped.
Right. This is actually the first time we are seeing this as part of the parade at any Independence Day. This is an innovation, and it is new, it's novel and exciting to watch. For those of us who rarely come close to military and their actions, this presents us with a very exciting picture.
Okay, so this is the Special Forces of the Ghana Armed Forces. We have personnel from the Ghana Army, and we also have personnel from the Ghana Navy. The Navy's Special Forces is known as the Special Boat Squadron. And the members of the rappelling team, the first crew, were Fly Lieutenant Dominic Ajokache, Fly Lieutenant Daniel Foley, Fly Lieutenant Samuel Nyako Mensah, Fly Lieutenant Patrick Opoku Buachi, and Warrant Officer Class 1 Mafu Osei Halifax, as well as Warrant Officer Class 1 Richard Mensah. And those who came through for the pilot for the fast roping are Squadron Leader Evans Kwabna Opoku, Squadron Leader Benjamin Ochre, and Flight Lieutenant Abdul Nasser Salia, with Sergeant Tebi Kenneth, and Sergeant Kina Stephen, and Corporal Aticho Charles. And so the dog has helped them to arrest whoever is fomenting the trouble. So they just to inform the public that if there's something that needs special forces to go and undertake the operation, they would go and do it. So now they are searching the criminal to be sure he has nothing on him.
The crowd of people here at the Baba Yara Stadium observing as the Ghana Armed Forces, I should say, show us what stuff they're made of and how prepared they are to protect the territorial integrity of the Republic of Ghana. We've come a long way, 63 years of independence, 63 years of so much to celebrate and so much to look forward to. The President now taking his seat. So the special forces are now marching off. Assignment has been done.
Yes, accomplished.
Accomplished,
yes.
And the attacks is done, and they will now go home, if like.
Yes.
They've been dismissed.
Yes, they sought permission.
It's in the military that dismissal means something different from the rest. When you are dismissed, I've heard that in the military, that means go home. In other circles, when you are dismissed, it means don't come back here ever again.
It has different meanings at different times. So if you're on parade and they said turn to your right, dismiss, it means turn to your right, you have closed whatever we are doing.
Go home.
But you can also be dismissed from the armed forces. So it can be used in the connotation that you know as well.
Thank you so much, the Vice President of the Republic. Again, at the risk of sounding repetitive, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium is filled to capacity. 40,000 plus people are here. We have thousands more around the vicinity of the stadium. Every parking space, every sitting space has been occupied, to the extent that the police have made a public appeal to people not to leave their homes for the stadium, and that they should stay at home, because even if you come, you will not be able to get a chance to come inside the stadium. Now we see the mass band again.
Yes, and the mass band will be trooping, after which the contingents, the Ghana Armed Forces and the other security services will now march back onto the parade. You know, the mass band is part of the parade, and because it will not have time to march past like the other contingent, it normally troops, and the aim of the trooping is to display. So I'm sure with time we'll see what they have for us.
So this is the mass band. The mass band is made up of various bands from the various wings of the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yes, we have the Armed Forces Central Band, we have the Army Band, we have the Navy Band, the Air Force Band, and the Police Band. And so they always come together during. And
on this occasion, who then leads the band? Is it the Army, the Navy, the Police, or who leads the band?
Normally the most senior, and in this person is the band officer. In this instance is the band officer, and it's the person of Naval Lieutenant Stanley Theophilus Brock. And he's assisted by Lieutenant Emmanuel Eric Yaboa, Lieutenant Foster Opoku Jan, and Assistant Superintendent of Police Felix Ofe Osei Maabua. So the leader is the band officer. Yes.
And in the military, you also have band masters.
He is the band officer. So these are drum majors. We have the band.
Okay.
The band masters normally are behind the band. So those marching now with the maize are the drum majors, and they display with the maize. And then we have the band masters. They are normally behind the band as they march. So maybe when they come around, so these are drum majors, and they are led by the senior most drum major, who is in the person of Chief Petty Officer Class 1. Sorry. Chief Petty Officer Class 1, Tay Aite James. He is the most senior drum major. So we have the drum major from the Army, Staff Sergeant Abeka Edward, and Staff Sergeant Kweku Emmanuel. We have the drum major for the Navy, Leading Seaman Sani Taju Emmanuel, and Flight Sergeant Blackson Ebenezer from the Air Force. And they are all drum majors. A while ago, the band had displayed a stool, and we know the significance of stool in the Ghanaian culture. Stool is a mark of authority and royalty. In Asante Kingdom, we are aware of the golden stool, and as a nation, we have the presidential stool. And so, the band a while ago demonstrated stool. They displayed the stool.
So they are not just marching, but they are marching to communicate. They are marching to send different messages at different times. And a short while ago, Commander just indicated that the ship we saw was that of a stool. And there's Asantehene himself who occupies a stool. And we know the significance of a stool in the Ashanti Kingdom. The stool actually reflects the spirit of Ashanti.
That is true. All chiefs have a storeroom where stools of the past chiefs are kept, and you have to do your work very well and with distinction before your stool will be preserved. Otherwise, it will be left white and it will not be blackened. The blackened stools are the most prestigious of all the stools. So this is a trophy for every chief who lives honorably.
All right, so it wasn't by accident that we saw the military do that for us, especially as we are in the Ashanti region.
And so that was the drum majors displaying with their maize. And that is a mark of authority as far as they are also concerned. And that is the most senior drum major, Chief Petty Officer Aite. And let me quickly add that the band masters, we have Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Quist Love from the Ghana Navy. We also have Warrant Officer Class 1 Dale Leonidas from the Ghana Armed Forces Central Band. Warrant Officer Class 1 Anani George from the Army Band. And that is the band officer, Lieutenant Brock. We also have Chief Petty Officer Class 1 Boachi Emmanuel from the Ghana Navy. And the Ghana Air Force, we have Warrant Officer Class 2 Mayedeng John. And the police, we have Inspector Boateng Nicholas. The band has put up another display, and this time it is unity. Unity. In unity is strength, and as a people, we need to work together as one.
Currently, you are seeing the crowd of people, and there's the vice president and his wife waving the flag of Ghana. But the band has formed a shape signifying unity at this point in time. The unity of Ghana, as exemplified by the attendance here, as exemplified by the pictures you're seeing on your screens at the moment. People from different backgrounds, culturally, religiously, ethnically, social status wise, everyone is here, and the purpose is Ghana, the love of Ghana, 63rd anniversary of Ghana's independence. It is.
Let me quickly add that the drum majors for the police are Sergeant Ada Daniel and Corporal Ampoma Matilda.
And that was the police band. We will now have the march pass by the other security agencies. The band having displayed what they are made of and having sent out messages both verbally through their songs and also through the shapes they made whilst marching. Very significant messages there. Soon we'll find the other troops join them as they march past and pay respect to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, His Excellency President Kufu-Addo. That will be done very shortly.
Yes, so the mass band will move to take its proper position so that it can allow the other contingents to march on parade. And so that's what they are doing now. They are moving to the rear of the parade so that the other contingent can come and march past.
So the other contingents will come and march past. But again, I just want us to go back to the numbers. We saw a very huge crowd in Tamale. And it looks like we've stepped it even higher, up even higher, as we see here in Kumasi that the 40,000 capacity stadium has been filled up to capacity, and that even the parking spaces outside the stadium have all been taken up, and then also all those who are selling and people walking around, the place is so filled up that there are no spaces. I know you love crowds. What is the kind of crowd you expected? This is beautiful, Selikim. The other contingents now taking their turns to march. They're about to take their turns to march, the other contingents. And a while ago, I just saw a picture. I wish that we had stayed on it a while longer, where I saw a man wearing smock, another wearing kente, and right beside the one wearing kente was a man in Agbada. Three different cultures in one picture. Pictures speak much louder than words. Ashanti region is home to a variety of people. The Ashanti trace their history, and you'll find that they have interacted with many people from different backgrounds. You agree with me?
Yeah, very much. We have the city of Kumasi and towns inserted in the city. So we have the Angloga, which is bigger than Angloga in Volta region. In Kumasi, we have Fanti New Town, which is also bigger in in terms of size compared to Mankesim in the central region. We have Dagomba town, we have the Mosizongo, we have all these people, and not just that, they have their chiefs who have position in the chieftaincy system in the Ashanti kingdom. So that the Angloga chief is within the Jasi division. And then we have the Fanti chief on the right wing chief, that is Nifa division. So we have all these people and their positions within the kingdom, so that they don't find themselves wanting. Everybody is seen as an Asante. The Asante is not the language. It is everybody who lives here.
Wow, interesting. I knew about the Gomba line. I know about Angloga in Kumasi. I know about the Zongo and so on. But it's interesting to find out that these groups of people actually have seats in the Ashanti kingdom and the structure of the chieftaincy in Ashanti.
They don't see themselves as strangers. They all belong to it, and they have their chiefs who move closer to the king more than even an ordinary Ashanti would move closer to the king.
The contingents have just started marching at the moment. These are men from the Ghana Army, I believe.
Yes, that's the Ghana Army now. Then we have the Ghana Navy.
And this is slow march.
Yes.
So at what point do you do slow march? And when does the slow march translate into a quick march? We've seen that a number of times, Commander Veronica. The last time we saw it started slow march, and before we knew it, the tune had changed and the steps had changed. They had started moving very quickly. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we have different types of steps. We have the slow march, we have the quick march, and we even have some which is much faster than the quick march. Those ones are normally used within our training institution. I believe we just start slowly and we warm up to the quick march. So there's no specific time to say this is the time for you to do slow march and that time you do quick march. On every parade, we try to display both, that we can walk slowly, we can walk majestically, and we can also walk very quickly when the need arises. So every parade, we try to have these two, slow and a quick time. And so now the contingent are first marching onto the stadium, after which only the Ghana Armed Forces will march past in slow time, and then the others will join in the quick time. And that's a color party in our shot a while ago. And colors are very, very important in the military. Colors have a long-standing history where men tied either their cloth or a piece of material on a pole to depict their location. And as militaries were formed, colors started evolving. And so on the battlefield, you always had your colors at a particular location, such that in the noise of the battle, it is raised aloft so that wherever you are, you can see it. Even as you fight, you make the effort to get to where your colors are. And once the colors were taken over by the enemy, you lost the battle and you became prisoners of war or slaves. And so colors have been protected since time immemorial. And that's the parade commander.
Right. So now let's listen to the parade commander.
Captain Edu Jemfi. it is only the armed forces that will march past in slow time, and when they are done, the other security services will join them to march past in quick time. That's the Ghana Air Force. The gentleman on the horse in the white is the parade adjutant, Lieutenant Commander Jabbar Bentel, and the lead officer is the parade commander, Group Captain Edu Jemfi. That was compliment paid to Mr. President. And anytime the parade is marching and gets to the days, Mr. President is expected to stand and take all the compliments before he takes his seat.
Number 4 escort contingent is the Navy female contingent, commanded by Naval Lieutenant Selina Bia. The supernumeraries are Sub Lieutenant Jennifer Abwaje and Sub Lieutenant Christabel Enima Echampon. The contingent sergeant major is Petty Officer Class 2 Aliga Lokwe Regina. The number 5 contingent is an Air Force male contingent, commanded by Flight Lieutenant Emmanuel Kelly. The supernumeraries are Flying Officer Richmond Abutiate and Flying Officer Anderson Don Komangma. The contingent non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Warrant Officer Class 2 Kunuma Raymond. The number 6 escort contingent is the Ghana Air Force female contingent, commanded by Flight Lieutenant Precious Say. Her supernumeraries are Flying Officer Benedict Anna Ache Boy and Flying Officer Hamdallah Al-Hassan. The non-commissioned officer supernumerary is Flight Sergeant Asad Greta.
Left, wheel, left.
Following the said contingent is the Parade Second in Command, Lieutenant Colonel Kwesi Ware Pepra. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Ghana Armed Forces contingents and the contingents from the other security services will march past in quick time. Distinguished guests, approaching the days now is the #1 contingent, the Army Male Contingent from the Southern Command of the Ghana Army. The motto of the command is Kulum Shiri, ready and willing. Kulum Shiri, ready to fight. Kulum Shiri, shield the nation. #2 contingent is the Army All-Female Contingent, drawn from the Support Services Brigade Group. Their motto is press on and the response is regardless. The #3 contingent is the Ghana Navy Male Contingent, drawn from the Western Naval Command in 2nd D. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all to rise anytime the colors move past your location. An important feature of every military parade is the custom of carrying colors. And today we have 4 colors on parade: the Ghana National Color, the Ghana Army Color, the Ghana Navy Ensign, and the Ghana Air Force Color. The number 4 contingent is a Navy all-female contingent drawn from the Eastern Naval Command in Tema. Number 5 contingent is an Air Force male contingent drawn from the Air Force Base Accra, Air Force Base Takrade, Air Force Base Tamale, and the Air Force Headquarters in Accra. The number 6 escort contingent is the Ghana Air Force female contingent. Personnel are drawn from the Air Force Base Accra, Air Force Base Takrade, Air Force Base Tamale, and the Air Force Headquarters in Accra. The next 4 contingents are drawn from the Ghana Police Service. Number 7 contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Police, Kodo Kofi Robert. The supernumerary is Assistant Superintendent of Police, Stephen Kobna Abrabi, and ASP Richard Nate. The contingent Sergeant Major is General Sergeant Ebenezer Tete. The number 8 contingent is commanded by DSP Mary A.C. Kumsin, with ASP Sunrise Adika and ASP Rose Ajo Aliga as supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Policewoman Sergeant Ernestina Amponsan. The 9th contingent of the Ghana Police is commanded by DSP Baba Francis Kofi. The supernumeraries are ASP Roxy Jesse and ASP Kwame Teku. The contingent Sergeant Major is General Sergeant Ankuma Prince. The 10th contingent is the last of the police contingent and is commanded by DSP Theodora Imthiriwa. The supernumeraries are ASP Estanate and ASP Opon Asante Doris. The contingent Sergeant Major is Policewoman Sergeant Sheila Eje. The next 2 contingents are made up of personnel from the Ghana Prison Service. The 11th contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Prisons, Houston Nana Ado. The supernumeraries are Assistant Superintendent of Prisons, Andy Mreku Asante, and ASP Roger Esiedu. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant David John. The 12th contingent is the prison's female contingent, commanded by DSP Vera Jekyll. The supernumeraries are ASP Wilhelmina Tego and ASP Karen Obey. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant Emilia Echampo. Contingents 13 and 14 are made up by fire officers. The male contingent is commanded by Assistant Divisional Officer Grade 2 Wilfred Odumnya. The supernumeraries are ADO Grade 2 Ado Opoku Bernard and ADO Grade 2 Enoch Adonu. The contingent Sergeant Major is Assistant Station Officer Anan Ni Otu Solomon. The female contingent is commanded by ADO Grade 2 Abdul Fanta. The supernumeraries are ADO Grade 2 Ajua Chumesiwa Hughes and ADO Grade 2 Jejiri Paulina. The contingent Sergeant Major is Assistant Group Officer Apusasa Irene. The next contingents are from the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. Assistant Revenue Officer Eugene Minka Asenso is the contingent commander. The supernumeraries are ARO Edwin Ghpage and ARO Dixon Banokodria. Contingent Sergeant Major is Junior Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Eugene Echampo. The female contingent is commanded by ARO AC Poche. Her supernumeraries are ARO Patricia Ahonu and ARO Apia Kesewa. Contingent Sergeant Major is Junior Revenue Assistant Grade 1 Emilia Fosua. The next contingents are drawn from the Ghana Immigration Service. The male contingent is commanded by Deputy Superintendent of Immigration Kennedy Tingza. The supernumeraries are Assistant Superintendent of Immigration Al-Hassan Rashid and ASI Isaka Ibrahim. Contingent Sergeant Major is Inspector AJ David. The female contingent is commanded by DSI Sandro Nana Esi. The supernumeraries are ASI Jato Pastor Esther and ASI Frederica Holman. The Contingent Sergeant Major is Assistant Inspector Evelyn Ampa. The last two contingents are from the National Ambulance Service. The male contingent is commanded by Advanced Emergency Medical Technician Kumasi Alexander. The supernumeraries are Principal Emergency Medical Technician Owusu Oscar and Principal Emergency Medical Technician Frimpong Reginald. Contingent Sergeant Major is Senior Emergency Medical Technician Abubakari Abdul. The female contingent is commanded by EMT Al-Hassan Nadia. Supernumeraries are PMT Karim Latifa and PMT Sewa Alice. The Contingent Sergeant Major is CMT Boatin Adwa Jumo.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall have a choral performance by the SDA Senior High School, the choir.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I want to treat us to watch this splendid display by the contingent king. The contingents have used their rifles to write our games. And indeed, the theme for today's 63rd Independence Parade is consolidating our gains. The theme celebrates the successes struck by the nation after 63 years of independence. It also takes a retrospective look at her challenges within the context of Ghana's development agenda over the years. Ghana will continue to become the beacon of hope while we remain peaceful and also protecting her enviable record of being one of the most peaceful countries in Africa.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we shall now rise as the choir sings the anniversary anthem. And the choir to perform that is SDA Senior High School, the choir. Shall we please rise? As we sing the anniversary anthem, Maomayu Ehiao.
Together we shall build the people. We are marching on in unity.
please wave your Ghana flag. Thank you very much, SDA Senior High School. Shall we please be seated? And the choral trainers were Nana Ado Kwantin Amwa, Pastor Uriah Osei Mensa, and Esio Nkwabin David. This was done under the coordination of Mr. Opoku Ajiman, the Ashanti Regional Cultural Coordinator, and Mr. Anania Fakwa, the headmaster of the school. Thank you so much, SDA Senior High School, Bekwai.
Distinguished guests, next we shall witness a display of some equipment by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and the National Ambulance Service.
By the Ghana Armed Forces and other security agencies. You tell us, so the equipment display, we also have the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and the Ghana National Ambulance Service all coming together to display their equipment. Of course, we know that in recent times, the Ghana Ambulance Service was given over 300 ambulances. I'm sure they'll be displaying some of them, but what else are we looking forward to seeing, and in what order is it going to take place?
Right. The first to display the equipment will be coming from the 64 Regiment, and they will be coming with the quad bikes and snipers, and that team is led by Captain Anwar Sadat Adams. And then after that we'll have the Hunter vehicles And these vehicles also operate in very rugged situations and defies all difficult and rough terrain. Then following the hunter vehicles, we'll have the anti-aircraft guns and multi-rocket launchers. After which the signal will come. The signal is a radio control improvised explosive device jammer on their vehicle. So it's a host of them. So I'd rather we look at it and enjoy it.
But I asked you to explain because usually the security agencies keep information to themselves and tell you that for security reasons. Why is it that the security agencies do not mind displaying what they have to the rest of the public when indeed they have been telling us that we don't tell you everything in security? Some of the things they keep to themselves.
Exactly. And what we are displaying is not everything. We are displaying the ones we can easily display without any challenges. So these vehicles, I'm sure you see them in town from time to time. So these are not things that the general public does not have to know. So we know what to bring out and what to keep in. So these ones, it's just for you to know that these are some of the equipment we work with, and they do not really have any challenge. They do not have any challenge.
And what sort of impact do you hope to make on the public when you come out to display some of these things to them?
Yeah, okay. Some of this equipment can operate in very rugged terrain. So somebody will ask you, something has happened overseas. How do you get there? If we go with an aircraft, eventually we'll have to get down into a vehicle. So some of these vehicles are to tell you the environment in which they operate and to assure you that irrespective of where you are located, we have variety of vehicles that can reach your location. We also have different weapons for different purposes, which I will not explain anyway. So that is basically just to give you that assurance that we are there to ensure our total safety and security.
Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Fire Service, the Ambulance Service of Ghana, and other security agencies will all in a very short while display to the President some of the equipment they have. And by displaying to the President, of course, by extension, they would be displaying to the rest of us here in the country, just to reassure us that they are up to the task, they are alive and awake, and anytime they are called upon to protect us, they will be there to do so on our behalf.
The leading vehicles are the Cobra 1 Recce and Ambulance vehicles. They have adopted design formation. They are equipped with gunshot detection system designed to detect, locate, and provide feedback on hostile fire.
Like Commander Angie was saying, and we have no fears.
The two ones of size 1 class 2 Victor. The next vehicle is the Cobra 2 Armored Personnel Carrier. They have adopted the box formation. They are also used to support assault troops in conducting special operations such as raid and counter-terrorism. They are commanded by Second Lieutenant Stephen Latin. The crew officer is 1 class 1 to receive handcraft. At the rear of that formation is the Recital combat vehicle. They are equipped with the 90mm quick firing gun. They have also adopted design formation. They are under the command of Second Lieutenant Preparedness. Crew officer is 1 class 1
So that's a display of equipment by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, and also the Ghana Ambulance Service, the Ghana Fire Service, and all the other security agencies. Commander, you are the military officer here with us. You may want to explain to us what we are seeing for purposes of educating our viewers.
Okay, so the shot currently in our view is from the 66 artillery, but from this angle, the 4 vehicles in front are from the Armor Regiment, the 153 Armor Regiment in Accra. Those are the 4 vehicles we are seeing, and then directly behind them we have the 66 Artillery Regiment. They perform different duties, but I'm not sure I would want to go into the nitty-gritty of their roles.
Yes, We do understand that, but so the president has been on his feet most part of the day since he arrived here, and he's still doing so. Remember that this is the 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade, but it is the first time it has been brought, the national celebration has been brought to the Ashanti region, and specifically to the capital, Kumasi, and it's the second time ever in the history of the Republic of Ghana for the event to have been moved outside of the capital, Accra. The first time was in Tamale, the northern regional capital. Here we see a display of some military equipment. Indeed, this is obviously from the Navy. This is the Ghana Navy. I know this too.
Yes, so that was the Ghana Navy, and that's the port security patrol boats. And these boats are rigid-hulled, inflatable boats used by the Navy for operations at sea and for diving operations.
Definitely, the Ghana Navy could not have brought its ships here, and so you brought a boat to show to Ghanaians.
Yes.
But there's a lot more that the Ghana Navy can't boast of than what is being displayed here.
Yes, and that is the police now. Those riders are from the police dispatch. No, this is from the Ghana Police Service.
The Ghana Police Service.
This is from the Ghana Police Service.
Are currently displaying, and these are the dispatch riders in front of the other vehicles, and the dispatch riders, as the name suggests, dispatch officials in a very quick manner, when officials need the way to be cleared for them in order to attend to events and emergencies in good time. Not just officials, but in emergency situations, these are the men who make the way clear for the experts to be able to arrive there on time.
And these are some of the riot control vehicles by the Ghana Police.
Ghana Police Service displaying the equipment to the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And there we have the Ghana Fire Service. The Fire Service were also restocked not too long ago. They have still been appealing for more. It's just like all of the security agencies, including the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force as well. You've been calling for more equipment to stock your what you already have, haven't you?
From the Ghana National Fire Service, you see the ambulances. Not too long ago, Abdul, the ambulances became a subject of a national conversation.
Of course, the ambulances were a source of national conversation, especially when many Ghanaians could not. Yeah, and that is the physical trainers once again.
Yes, physical training instructors from the Ghana Armed Forces.
We earlier saw them display on the field, and now they are displaying some of their equipment. This looks more like a mobile gym, if you ask me.
It's amazing to see a human being just rotating with that vehicle continuously. And this is going to go on throughout. Wonderful.
Please don't try this at home.
Not at all. Not with your friends or your brothers and sisters.
Logs. Those doing the sit-ups.
Yeah.
You see, they are carrying logs.
They're carrying logs.
Yes.
On a moving vehicle.
Yes. Maybe when you sit and you want to do normal sit-ups, it's difficult. And you are carrying logs on the move. Okay, so. Yes, and that is what doing arm pressing.
This is really a display. of physical fortitude, not just mental fortitude.
The 63rd Independence Anniversary Parade here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and the scenes here, those that cannot be brought to you on camera, are even more exciting than the ones you see on camera, because the activities taking place outside of the premises of the stadium. It's amazing. We'll be bringing you that once the official ceremony is over, and GBC News will bring you all the scenes that could not be brought to you here. So you stick with GBC as we bring you even the minutest detail of the event here this afternoon. It started in the morning at about 9:30 when the president arrived, and so far it has been exciting. We've seen school children, students, we've seen teachers participate in this, but beyond that, we've seen different cultural groups also represent here. We've seen the different regions, more especially the new regions that were created a little over a year ago. They all came to Kumasi to showcase what it is that their regions have to offer to the rest of Ghana. So we saw the Bono region, the Bono East region, we saw the Savannah region as well as the Northeast region. They each had representation here. It's been an exciting scene, and then of course the security agencies have been phenomenal so far today, and currently we're seeing the display of equipment.
Personnel have gone to pick their weapons. You remember they displayed our gains.
Yes,
they've gone to pick their weapons, and any moment from now they will advance in review order, simply meaning they will get closer to Mr. President to listen to his speech.
What it is right now is that because of the
that
parade,
is it. That's a review order.
Another one, and whenever things like this happen, without prompting, you see the crowd go gay with happiness, and the claps, without prompting.
Exactly.
And that's what we just saw there. So this is the marching in review order.
Yes,
it's been done,
advancing in review order.
So they get closer to the commander-in-chief.
Yeah. So now they are paying compliments, and as they are having as they present arms, we are having the 21-gun salute. It's a kind of compliment. It's a kind of literally saying greeting to the president.
Let's hear the 21-gun salute.
Yes.
I didn't expect. We haven't seen this. We've seen after the 21-gun salute, then the three choppers just flew past. This again talks about precision, timing, and then there's nothing like Ghanaman time. Time is time, and we have just been shown, because if they had missed it by even a second, the beauty would have vanished.
So we watched three things together. They had presented arms whilst we're playing the national anthem. We had the 21-gun salute, and simultaneously we had the aircraft flying past.
And all this happened almost at the same time.
Yes.
And so timing is of the essence.
Exactly. And rehearsal, to be sure that everything is on point.
And that means that in the life of the ordinary man, practice shouldn't be taken for granted.
And timing, the Ghana time, is high time we got over it and did things on time.
Commander Edu Jemfi now. Commander Edu Jemfi has been speaking with the President. The parade commander approached the President a while ago, said a few words. I'm sure he's retained.
Right!
Okay.
Stand! East! Stand easy!
May I respectfully invite the special guest of honor for this year's independence anniversary, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency, Honorable Dr. Keith Christopheroli, to give his address.
Who is the special guest of honor, has been invited to give his address, and he has started.
Ranka Akufo-Addo and Mrs. Rebecca Addo, Akufo-Addo. Your Excellencies, Alhaji Dr. Mahadu Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, and Mrs. Hajia Samira Bawumia, Your Royal Majesty, Otumfo Osei Tutu II and Lady Sophia, Lady Julia, the Speaker of the Parliament, the Right Honorable Professor Aaron Mike Okoye, and his spouse, Mrs. Alberta Okoye, His Lordship, the Chief Justice of Ghana, Chairman and members of the Council of State, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings and Nana Kunadu Agemang Rawlings, His Excellency John Agekum Kufo, His Excellency John Amani Mahama, the Chief of Staff, my Lord, government officials, Honorable Minister of State, Chiefs and Queen Mothers, distinguished invited guests, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to bring to you the government and people of the Republic of Ghana the best wishes of the government and people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and to join with you here in Kumasi to celebrate the 6th independence of the Republic of Ghana. I am particularly pleased to be here in Ghana following the success of the year of return in 2019, through which Ghana extended a hand of welcome to all descendants of Africans who were captured and transported to the Americas beginning in 1619 with the arrival of the first enslaved Africans in Jamestown, Virginia, in what would become the United States of America. We in Trinidad and Tobago recognize our ancestral and historical ties to Ghana and other countries of the African continent. The archival records of Trinidad and Tobago show that in 1813, the census of Trinidad, in which enslaved Africans on the island were registered by region of origin and ethnicity, there were persons in Trinidad of ethnic groups drawn from the land of West Africa, from the modern countries of Senegal in the north to Angola in the south, including the Fanti and Akwan ethnic groups from the then Gold Coast. Trinidad and Tobago has therefore always had an African identity. It should be no surprise then that nationals of Trinidad and Tobago had a significant role to play in the 20th century in the development of Pan-African thought and action, starting from the organization of the first Pan-African Conference in London in July 1900 by Henry Sylvester Williams, the Trinidadian barrister, and continuing through the seminal roles played by C.L.R. James and George Padmore in the development of Pan-Africanism. The roles played by C.L.R. James and George Padmore in the development of the political philosophy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first Prime Minister and President of Ghana, is well documented, with Padmore, a renowned Pan-Africanist, friend and advisor of Dr. Nkrumah. He provided able counsel and support for the establishment of an independent Ghana. It is reported that at the opening of the George Padmore Research Library on African Affairs in Accra on the 30th of June 1961, President Nkrumah ranked Padmore as one of the greatest architects of the African liberation movement dedicated to African union and unity. The attainment of your independence in 1957 under the leadership of Dr. Nkrumah was therefore cause for celebration, not only in Ghana, but also among the nations of the world, which at that time were still struggling to free themselves from colonial rule. Through the formal establishment of relations between the independent countries of Trinidad and Tobago and Ghana, that will take place for 10 years later in 1967, the success of Ghana's independence struggle provided an example of what was possible to those colonies yet to follow in Ghana's footsteps. This close relationship put forward by the United Kingdom and the United States was a resolution which was sponsored by the UK and seconded by Ghana when Trinidad and Tobago was admitted to the United Nations. Over the 53 years of diplomatic relations between our countries, we have pursued shared interests in our bilateral relations and in regional and international fora, including the African, Caribbean, and Pacific Group of States. I wish to draw to your attention specifically the two areas of cooperation, agriculture and energy, which build on a history of collaboration between our two countries. The importance of agriculture in the development of a country cannot be overstated, as it provides the most basic and essential form of security for society. This food security also has the potential to translate into income security, as it provides means of sustenance and income for many of our people. Both Trinidad and Tobago and Ghana are producers of cocoa, and cooperation in this area between our countries dates back to our colonial past. The Cocoa Research Unit and the scheme of 1930 at the Imperial College of Tropical Agriculture at St. Augustine in Trinidad and Tobago was financed jointly by several governments, including the government of Ghana. Ghana hosted the first roundtable on sustainable cocoa economy in October 2007, followed by Trinidad and Tobago in March 2009. Both our countries are also states parties to the International Cocoa Agreement of 2001. Trinidad and Tobago has an interest in furthering collaboration with Ghana in developing our cocoa sectors through establishing linkages between our respective cocoa management authorities. Exchanges in expertise and technology, sharing of genetic material, training, joint venture projects, cocoa tourism, and the processing of cocoa into finished products along the cocoa value chain are all matters of interest between our both countries. With respect to energy, Trinidad and Tobago has been involved in the petroleum sector for over 100 years, undertaking considerable oil and gas exploration on land and shallow water. As the largest oil and natural gas producer in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago's hydrocarbon sector moved from an oil one to mostly natural gas based in the early 1990s. In January 2007, the then Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the late Patrick Manning, announced the establishment of an African Energy Initiative at the 8th Ordinary Session of the African Union in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The objectives of this initiative for Trinidad and Tobago were to provide assistance to the countries of West, Central and South Africa in developing their energy sectors, to further the economic development and wealth of the selected states of the African Union by providing free technical expertise in an advisory capacity to assist them in monetizing their petroleum and natural gas resources. Also to assist Africa's achievement of the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. And thirdly, to enhance opportunities for South-South cooperation with selected states of the African Union. Additionally, there have been discussions between the Takoradi Technical University of Ghana and the University of Trinidad and Tobago, UTT, focused on exploring between the two universities the development of human resources and technical capabilities for Ghana's oil and gas industry. Trinidad and Tobago is ready and willing to assist in the development of this new area of economic activity in Ghana, and you will find in Trinidad and Tobago a ready partner through energy skills training and linkages between our tertiary institutions. These two areas, energy and agriculture, build on a history of collaboration between our two countries. It is for this reason that Trinidad and Tobago would wish to enter into arrangements with Ghana as soon as possible for the establishment of air services and transportation between our two countries. This would promote the movement of people and goods and improve the trade prospect between our countries. As I close, I recall that on the last occasion I had the privilege to visit Ghana in 2016. I took the opportunity to visit Elmina Castle, which was used as a facility for the holding and shipping of slaves from Africa to the Americas. This movement of persons from Africa into the Americas brought with it a deep reservoir of culture and traditions, which continue to enrich and sustain us for centuries after our arrival in that part of the world. Trinidad and Tobago, as the first country in the world to declare a national holiday to commemorate the abolition of slavery, pays homage to the contribution, resilience of those persons in its annual Emancipation Day celebration, which have been attended by former presidents of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings and His Excellency John Agepum Kufo. In the same way that Ghana has been present in Trinidad and Tobago as we celebrate our Emancipation Day, I am happy to return to Africa and to Ghana to celebrate your Independence Day with you. As we in Trinidad and Tobago celebrate with you today the 63rd Independence Day of the Republic of Ghana, I hold out to you the best wishes of the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago for peace, progress and prosperity of the government and people of the Republic of Ghana. Happy independence to the people of Ghana from the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We shall have a poetry recital and drama appellation by the Garrison Basil School.
And Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the school to perform the drum appellation and poetry recital is Garrison Basic School from 4 Garrison Education Center, 4BN in the Kumasi metropolis. The appellation was written by the head teacher, Mr. Isaac Osaikofo, and this is done to usher in very important personalities to rise and address their people. In this case, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is respectfully invited to step forward to deliver his independence address to the nation.
Ghana osani kokro be pia ma Ghana mai pudio no me nyina bochi abepie santima mu onyankopon Allah nyankopon se chia dama enu ama mfashe kesie edi mpenye ewo omayi mu na ama akehye he nyina se obebo wanya bedu nufuta braba Ghana ma nyina no manoi onyame anoa ama aben ahia bi hu ye bo mra ya na so na fataw Onua na ho brasere na butirenti wajina nkonson atutu omprenu ama atuduro sai na ne prensa so na awoto no ekumado ma bebre emodo ma pempem so e ma wona hwa papetu da na ho wono no wo bemem wo yo chiman de sekan etina kan yesunsun kuta te se kuta de ne wonyere wonsem na sunfiri wonsada wa tase obuoni ni die do boa te se bi koko kracha wo boa ne krata na akwaja base bawa akwa foda ase wa onyame adumu nim denti wasuamra guwidiem amanne emrani fonkare hunwa o chau prise egu kraku batia se kase agemrani apapa mu a yenya bio efise o fanye dade o fanye dua o fanye nsuo o fanye honhom nipa ne sebi abode epi nso usinsuo mansana mahamo itida wo odi chenya nsabonso amampani fufuro suro omuhuru se ho popoya okote omampani suja ampowe Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, I don't want the state, one factory, I don't want village, one dam, I don't want constituency, one ambulance, papebi. Omampani a teacher for, a nurse for, a new hodo, a kunia niti na dawo. Ukura umudi muti sabra kosia. Uwatima to send your capacity. Free SHS papa money yo. Nana money yo wate. Nana money yo. If we say wama ya nanka yensem fata. Ya anga sebita frache. Ewe nim ni ewe chia. Nani da so bien free woma. Akwachancha amate say nanka yensi ye day. Ni akonta so sukuni mubi. And I say age na honey ana was you. And I say yakoto wate ni ani ana wase. What's your breath for? What my breath for? Go my jewel. I could not for him. Couldn't Nasana. Oh, my could not for his ago, Mano dear. And I need some money. You what it? Nana Bata has a what you wish. Yeah, Nana go do Beshiro or true step and yeah, Nana go back true step what it. Santimura Santimagia continues or 248 to Tosumunu. Your board, your boy, Moise. Nana, get to Pobian Wate, Madame Moise.
Trade young. Says a corporate who was Sumba and of brief and temperament, you do sad. Young, you want them. Edge, my home in the so and then talk to. See
The pupils were taken through rehearsals by Mr. Dapa Moses, Mr. Antonio Poku, and Mr. Oshri Eric, all teachers of Garrison Basic Schools. And this was done under careful supervision of Mrs. Joyce Afrenuama, Director for Cultural Education Programs, Ghana Education Service. We invite the President to deliver his 63rd Independence Anniversary speech. Mr. President.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the climax of today's Independence Anniversary Parade, which is the anniversary speech by the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. With a round of applause, join me welcome Mr. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo for the 63rd Independence Anniversary speech. Mr. President.
Eminent clergy, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, our esteemed guest of honor and your spouse, First Lady, Vice President and Second Lady, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Chief Justice and spouse, Chairperson and members of the Council of State, Your Excellency, the Second President of the Fourth Republic, former Second Lady, Otumfuo Asantehene, dignitaries of the Ghanaian and Trinidadian states, the Chief of Defense Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Inspector General of the Police Service, Police Force, commanders, officers, men, women of the security services, Nananum and traditional rulers, members of the diplomatic corps, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It was 63 years ago today that our forefathers' dream of independence for our nation became a reality. Ghana became an independent nation and gained her freedom from the colonial power, Britain. The celebrated calypso singer of the time, Lord Kitchener, put it into what became a famous hit. This day will never be forgotten, the 6th of March, 1957, when the Gold Coast successfully got their independence officially. Ghana is the name. Ghana we wish to proclaim. We will be jolly, merry and gay the 6th of March, Independence Day. Today, as we mark this sacred day on our calendar, it is worth noting that the great majority of our population was born after 6th March 1957. They identified that day only through old black and white newsreels, and it might be difficult for them to imagine the sheer euphoria and magic of that day. Last year, for the first time, we took the official celebrations out of the national capital city of Accra to Tamale, capital of the northern region, and a huge success it was. This year, we are gathered here in Kumasi, capital of the Ashanti region, as the focal point of the official celebrations. The happiness of the day is not meant to be limited to the place of the official celebrations. This is a day that should be celebrated by all around the country and by all Ghanaians and friends of Ghana, wherever they are. Indeed, on that day of 6th March 1957, the celebrations were not limited to the new country, Ghana. or to Ghanaians alone. The rest of the world joined to celebrate with us. We were the trailblazers for the independence movement of the continent. We held out hope for restored dignity to the black race around the world. African Americans and the peoples of the Caribbean especially walked tall and cheered us on. It was not accidental that the Trinidadian, Lord Kitchener, composed the defining song of the event. We're carrying on that relationship, born 63 years ago, by having as our esteemed guest of honor at these celebrations the Prime Minister of the Government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, MP, one of the great figures of modern Caribbean politics, who has given us such a superb speech of commendation and encouragement. Prime Minister and Mrs. Sharon Clark Rowley and members of the Trinidadian delegation, we wish you a warm Ghanaian welcome, a big Akwaba, on your second visit to our country. And we know that you are at home and among your own in your beautiful kente cloths. It is a matter of great joy to us that last year we had such enthusiastic support for the year of return from the Caribbean and the Americas. The Prime Minister of Barbados, the Admirable Honorable Mia Motley QC MP, was also with us last year, and she accompanied me to Yendi to witness the historic performance of the age-old Damba Festival by a new Yana, the first in many, many years to mark the end of decades of hostility in one of the ancient kingdoms of our land. Prime Minister, we are here in Kumasi in the presence of the Asantehene, Skion of the famous Osei Poku Oyoko royal dynasty, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II. There is one thing that any visitor here can be certain of. It is the cultural capital of our country. Kumasi welcomes people from all parts and makes them feel like they belong. It was also the capital of one of the greatest kingdoms of pre-colonial Africa, Asante, whose luster was comparable to that of the kingdoms of Benin, Oyo, Mali, Songhai, Congo, Mutapa, and Zulu. So we are indeed in historic premises and are grateful for the attendance of the mighty Asantehene and the other noble traditional rulers. Fellow Ghanaians, we remember today, as we should, those whose vision inspired the independence movement. We pay homage today, as we should, to those who dare to dream of this kaleidoscope nation made up of different peoples. And we give praise, as we should, to those who made huge sacrifices to make possible March 6, 1957. To the members of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, who protected our lands from the grasp of the greedy imperialists. The members of the United Gold Coast Convention, who first sounded the clarion call for freedom. The members of the Convention People's Party, who brought the battle for freedom to a successful conclusion. And all those who took the fight to the colonialists. We recall with pride and salute the memories of Yasantoa, Jacob Say, John Mensah Saba, Joseph Casey Hayford, George Moore, R.S. Wood, Thomas Hutton Mills, Kwabena Sechi, James Kwejie Agri, Ni Kwabena Boni III, Ephraim Amu, George Alfred Grant, Joseph Wachi Dankwa, Francis Awono Williams, R.S. Blake, J.W. DeGraff Johnson, Emmanuel Obecha Bilante, Edward Akufo-Addo, William Oforiatta, Ebenezer Akwaje, Kwame Nkrumah, Kwabena Kese, V.B. Annan, Jimmy Kwestase, Kamla Agbeli Gbedema, Kojo Botsio, Kofi Bakon, Krobo Edusei, Nancy Tibo, Mumuni Bawumia, SD Domo, Kofi Abrefa Busia, Joe Apia, Victor Owusu, R.R. Amponsa, Bafos Koto, Modesto Apalu, S.G. Anton, Akua Shoshosho, and Dede Sikishan, and many others. Since we gained our independence, we've had difficulties and stumbled in the search to reach our potential. But Ghana has never lost her position as the inspirational leading light of the African continent. At 63, we know that we have squandered many opportunities that properly utilized would have brought us to the economic breakthrough to which we aspire. We lament, and rightly so, the infrastructure deficits that plague all sectors of our lives, and the considerable number of our people who still live in poverty. But if truth be told, we have solid reason to rejoice and be thankful to the Almighty, for this is a blessed nation. It is a good thing that we are usually so very hard on ourselves, and the critical voices sometimes drown out everything else. For as long as we have not achieved our economic goals, we cannot and should not relax and be complacent. However, we should learn to count our many blessings and not talk ourselves down unnecessarily. It surely must count for something that our nation has been spared the ravages of civil war that have racked some of our neighbors and other nations on the continent. It must count for something that we have been spared the epidemics that have brought havoc to other nations in our neighborhood. It certainly must count for something that we've been able to keep our terrorist activities from our country, and we can take for granted the peace and stability that define Ghana. Our politics might not always be the most edifying, but they are demanding and loud, and all citizens cherish the right to freedom of expression. We are into the 28th year of this Fourth Republic, the longest uninterrupted period of stable constitutional governance in our history. We've had regular, hard-fought elections and peaceful changes of administrations, and managed to avoid any third-term maneuvers. That is something for which we should applaud ourselves. We should never forget the development through the democratic process, the path we have chosen in this Fourth Republic, is not exactly the easiest governance option. Many of the countries that have made miraculous economic transformations did so more often than not through authoritarian regimes. In earlier times, several of the developed economies built their successes on the back of slavery and work practices that would not be tolerated in any democracy today. Some may admire the results of raising down whole villages and new structures appearing in weeks. But we have to ask ourselves how much regimentation needed for such things would be tolerated by the Ghanaian psyche. Or dare I ask, where would we fit in our weekend funerals to be able to put in 7-day weeks? We should be proud of the liberal democratic path we are treading and unite to make it work. We could and should be able to bring out our people out of poverty and into prosperity faster. But let us acknowledge that good things are happening in our country and we are making progress. 19% of our people do not have access to potable water, but 81% of people in Ghana presently have access to safe water. We are making progress. The supply of electricity has reached 85% of the country. We are making progress. No child has died from measles in the past 17 years in Ghana. Fellow Ghanaians, in our country, measles used to be the leading killer of children aged under 5. We are making progress. No longer do mothers have to sell off their most treasured fabrics and jewelry, and fathers go to money lenders to be able to see their children through senior high school. Today, senior high school education is free for every child. We are making progress. There are more children in secondary school now, especially young girls, than we have ever had. We're changing the curricula and focus in education to meet the needs of the modern economy and prepare our young people to compete on the global scale. We are making progress. More and more people are embracing the need to preserve the beauty of our environment and the purity of our waters and oceans. We are making progress. Some 25 years ago, only a few wealthy people carried mobile telephones. It was a status symbol, and it gave them access to opportunities that few could dream of. In the year 2000, there were 90,000 mobile phone subscribers. In 2020, there are 41 million subscriptions. Mobile subscriber penetration is bigger than the population. We are making progress. The digital revolution is changing the face of our society and our country, and soon we will take a deserved place as a modern economy. We are making progress. The creative arts are thriving, and there are exciting things to interest a wide range of people. The fashion scene is vibrant and unearths new talent every day. Take a look around this stadium and feast your eyes on the riot of colors and the wide variety of styles that our kente weavers can conjure. Every day, this ancient, royal, eye-catching, beautiful fabric is reinvented to win over new generations. The kente, of course, has crossed over our boundaries and is no longer exclusively Ghanaian, but the symbol of identity for peoples of African descent everywhere. Our designers tailors and dressmakers keep Ghanaian-made clothes in the top range of attractive clothes. Art galleries are alive with established and new painters and sculptors, and there are signs of their innovative works all around us. We have always been known for musical talent, and this generation is keeping up the tradition. Fellow Ghanaians, there's renewed confidence in our foods and a strong belief in the things that define us as Ghanaians. We have always been known for arguments and debates, and in an election year, it is predictable that the decibel level would go up. That is what we're currently experiencing. But as the saying goes, even as the arguments get louder, we keep a keen lookout for each other's eyes. There is an Akan proverb that says, Omeniku, ye kwa, ye kikanrilso, ye ntuasiye. When we fight as members of a community or family, we bite off hair, we do not uproot it. In other words, in our gravest moments of fury, we strive to avoid bloodshed. The consensus is holding for all of us to work towards the prosperous, peaceful, and happy Ghana we want. We all recognize that that the responsibility we carry as the first Saharan colonial country to gain independence is not simply to build a successful country. We owe it to the rest of the continent and the black race to demonstrate that indeed we can build and run a successful, prosperous, and happy country. This is a task we do not shirk and which all Ghanaians accept. Our Pan-African vision remains on course as we continue to be in the front line of the effort to forge a united Africa, and our peers have conferred and honored us with the duty to host the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area. We are making progress. During the course of the year of return, which we marked last year, we were glad to welcome hundreds of thousands of visitors from the African diaspora, and we're hoping that the renewed relationship between Ghanaians and our kith and kin from the Caribbean and the Americas will grow from strength to strength. The initiative of Beyond the Return is the vision of a black world on both sides of the Atlantic, which leverages hard work, enterprise, creativity, and innovation to engage in mutually beneficial trade and investment cooperation that will guarantee the prosperity and dignity of black people the world over. I must say something before I conclude about the subject that currently concerns the whole world, and that is the novel coronavirus outbreak. It is a medical crisis that is bringing in its wake deaths and economic difficulties, and is spreading fear and panic throughout the world. In the early days of the outbreak, I constituted on 7th February a high-powered emergency response team to handle the crisis, which has been monitoring developments and reporting to me on a daily basis. Strict checks at our entry points are being conducted with rigorous screening procedures. Isolation and treatment centers have been designated for potential cases, and a quarantine center has been set up. 5,000 personal protective equipments for health workers have been procured and distributed to all regions and major health facilities, points of entry, teaching hospitals, treatment centers, and selected health facilities. Additional protective health equipment is being procured. Training of health workers in the treatment of the disease is being provided and is ongoing. In the interim, non-essential travel into Ghana is being strongly discouraged from high-risk countries, namely China, Iran, Italy, Japan, and South Korea. We're counting on the experts to do their part to safeguard us, but we all have a responsibility to take measures to help ourselves and each other. The recommendations are for each one of us to practice basic personal hygiene and be extra careful with sanitation. For the time being, as the Ministry of Health has advised, we have to revisit our custom of shaking hands and stop doing so completely. And we must cover our mouths when we cough or sneeze. We should pray, of course, that the Almighty continues to shield us, but it is also the time to pay attention to the health experts and reject all fraudulent claims for cures that would only threaten public health and safety. Please listen to and take seriously the public education messages being put out by the public health authorities. And I urge the churches, mosques, traditional authorities, civil society organizations, and opinion leaders all to join in helping to keep Ghana safe. We appreciate the active collaboration being offered by us by the Global Health Authority, the World Health Organization, and by Friends of Ghana in these trying times. The government on its part is determined to do whatever is necessary, including providing the requisite resources to ensure the safety of the population. Fellow Ghanaians, we've been treated to a marvelous performance by school children and men and women from the military and the services. It took hours and weeks of practice to be able to put up such a flawless display, and I wish to congratulate them all. The lessons will not be lost on us. To you, the men and women of the military and the services, who put your lives on the line to keep us and the country safe, I say Ghana is deeply in your debt. To you, the children who have been part of the captivating ceremony, I say very well done, and prepare yourself to carry the torch into a greater and brighter future. I wish all Ghanaians and friends of Ghana across the globe a joyous 63rd Independence Anniversary. And once again, Prime Minister Rowley, thank you, your wife, and your delegation for coming from Trinidad to join us to share our special day. May God bless us all and our homeland Ghana and make her great and strong. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Forces Sergeant Major Chief Warrant Officer Bakar Ramos is marching forward to lead the contingent to give 3 hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana and a powerful yell for Mother Ghana.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. May I please have your permission to hail the troops, Mr. President.
Will remove headdress. Remove!
Three hearty cheers to the President of the Republic of Ghana Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Adopt the posture, left foot. Pull together. Let's pull together. We shall pull together. Resume the posture, left foot. Let's go together with one accord.
Ghana is the star of Africa.
Let's go together with one accord.
Ghana is the star of Africa.
Ghana, let's go.
We are the star.
Move it.
We are the star.
Ghana is the star
of Africa.
Ghana for Maniji. Maniji. Special one for 241 Assembly the second. And so by a border. 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 What's the bracket that you want to say? Yes. Nana Sanjay. Over. May I please have the permission to follow, Mr. President? Yes, Mr. President.
Mr. President, prayed over, may I have your permission to march off the colors and the remainder of the parade, Mr. President.
You are humbly requested to rise when the colors are passing your location, and all personnel in uniform are reminded to pay the appropriate compliments.
March of the colors. Parade. Present. Arms.
march. 10 direction right, right, forward.
May we please be seated? Shall we please rise and we'll remain standing for the national anthem.
National salute. Present. Arms.
Please remain standing and stay at our positions as the President and other dignitaries depart before we leave. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to remind all that the Ghana Armed Forces Open Day activities will be held at all garrisons on Saturday, 14th March 2020. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to invite the general public and particularly all school children to be part of this day to get to know and learn more about the Ghana Armed Forces. Permit me to acknowledge the Formation Commander of the Flypast, Squadron Dadawe, and his crew, Flight Lieutenant Abuaje and Flight Lieutenant Anan, for their splendid performance. If you want to have a feel of more of the Ghana Air Force, take note and visit the Air Force bases in Accra, Tamale, and Tapadi on Saturday, 14th March 2020.
And all GES staff are to take note. Students and GES staff, the Director General and Management of Ghana Education Service take this opportunity to congratulate teachers, students and students for their smart turnout at this year's Independence Parade. It is expected that teachers, pupils and students will take advantage of the weekend to rest and fully refresh themselves to resume academic work on Monday. Please note that Monday, 9th March 2020 is not a holiday. Signed by the Director General, Professor Christopher.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Departure formalities begin right away. All drivers of our VVIPs, please bring your cars through where you came. The President of the Republic is to depart first, followed by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, and then the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana will follow, and then Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu follows.
All school contingents have moved to Media Senior High School. All school contingents, the 13 school contingents have been moved to Media Senior High School right now. Thank you.
And as we end this year's 63rd Independence Anniversary celebration, we want to show appreciation to the following companies and organizations that supported our anniversary this year: Guinness Ghana Limited, Star Life, Baltic Mineral Water, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, Global Media Alliance, Verna Water, MTN, Casapreco Awake Water, Casben, Utek FM, Ash FM, Angel FM, Planting for Food and Jobs, Loud Make Sound, Wontumi Radio and TV, as well as the National Youth Authority. Departing now is the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, and First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo.
The Vice President is the next to depart, and then the President, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, our special guest. All drivers of the VVIPs, please follow in that order as you came. All drivers of the VVIPs, please follow in the order you came. DJ Lalani Gocha, Ucha. Well, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is about to leave.